Borobudur Temple was built in the 8th to 9th century, around 880. It consists of followers of the traditional Mahayana Buddhism. The construction process of the Borobudur Temple took hundreds of years and was completed during the reign of King Samaratunga in 825 AD. And for centuries, Borobudur would have been submerged in earth and volcanic ash, which would have been caused by the eruption of Mount Merapi. However, the temple building was successfully restored by the government of Thomas Stamford Raffles when he served as the Governor General in the island of Java in 1911. It was then that Raffles enlisted the help of a Dutch engineer, Christian Cornelius, to examine and repair the condition of the buried Borobudur temple building. Borobudur's history has also lengthened after a long and costly period of restoration, and for several reasons, including the fact that it is considered the largest temple complex in Indonesia, and it was declared by the UNESCO World Heritage Site in 1991. The Borobudur temple is shaped like a terrace pundan, getting smaller and smaller with 4 steps in each wind direction. It measures around 121.66 meters in length, 121.38 meters in width, and 35.40 meters in height. Buddhism claims that the Borobudur temple's leveled structure represents the universe's design. The 3 areas of the structure contain Kamadhatu, Rudhatu, and Arupadhatu. These 3 things are thought to represent its threefold meaning, which is similar to the universe's wheel of life. The lowest part of the temple, known as Kamadhatu, represents the underworld and people's behavior in relation to materialistic desires. Rupadhatu, which represents the center of the temple, representing human behavior that is starting to move away from worldly desires but is constantly constrained by the world. And finally, Arupadhatu, which is the temple summit, the pinnacle or an intangible element as a measure of how far one has progressed from the materialistic desires. It's important to note about Borobudur's experience related to the philosophical and spiritual foundations of the Buddhist religion and its embodies and celebrates. Light in all its paradoxes is an ultimate goal. The pagoda on top of this holy mountain is dedicated to the Sun Buddha, Vairocana Buddha. The temple is located near the universe, nearby Mount Merapi, if we have to put it into words. At certain times of the year, the place of the rising sun seems to emerge from the mountains in the east and reach the summit of the temple in glorious synergy. The light illuminates the stone in a way that is not just beautiful. The Borobudur mandala embodies the majesty of the place, combining metaphysical and physics, symbol and matter, cosmic and energy within its physical environment and spiritual paradox.
So right now we are currently in Candi Kalasan. Now this temple was made around 880, and this was created in the order of Rakai Panangkalan, who wanted to who wanted to build this for Buddhist priests and as well as a place for worshiping Buddha goddesses. So this temple contains approximately around 52 stupas, and one thing that is unique about this is that they have the cement called Vajralepa, and Vajralepa at that time was used to prevent any fungi or rotting of the temple itself. So there are 3 levels in here. There's the crown, there's the body, and there's the bottom part. For the body part, it's supposed to contain around 1 main room and 3 other rooms. And in there, I'm sure that there is also a statue that is made out of bronze. And other than that, this is I'd say this temple is around 45 times 34 meters.
Is thought to be either contemporaneous with Borobudur Temple or older than the Borobudur Temple. This is in accordance with the discovery of some brief writings or inscriptions, which purportedly came from the top of the entrance. It took this structure about a century to turn into a Buddhist shrine. The fall of ancient Mataram Kuno, this temple was abandoned and submerged in sand and soil as a result of Mount Merapi's eruption, earthquakes, and the removal of the temple stones by the local populace for personal use. A number of carved panels, which are reliefs from the Baca Tantra and Jatakan stories, are used to decorate the side walls of the stairs. These panels depict various stories that contain Buddhist teachings.
Okay, so right now we are in the Mendut temple, also known as Candi Mendut. So this temple is basically built before Borobudur was invented later on, and however, we cannot really go inside this temple because, considering the rules of the and the situation of the pandemic, it's restricted to enter inside of the building itself. And another thing is that they're still currently in renovation, and they decided to add some new stones to fix other parts of this temple. Mendut derives from 3 terms, which is Fena, Fana, and Mandira. Those 3 things mean that there is a temple in the middle of a forest. There isn't really much speculation regarding this building. However, a guy named J.G. de Kasparis, he concluded that this building was made around 1824-80. And at that time, that was created during the reign of the Salinera dynasty. And there was an inscription that explained about how this building came to be around 824 AD.
The Pacha Tantra is a piece of world literature that was first created in the 1st century and is from Kashmir, India. This Pacha Tantra describes a Brahmin. This Panchatantra describes a Brahmin named Vishnu Sarma who instructs the three sons of King Amasakti in worldly wisdom and life, or more specifically, political science or concept. The name Panchatantra, which literally translates as five teachings, comes from the fact that the subject matter is spread across five books. Brahmin's teaching is divided into five different categories. These passages are found in the Tatakiya, a Sanskrit text that is thought to be the early extant copy of the Panchatantra. Here in the Ngawen village, Montilan district, Magelang Regency, here in central Java province, is the place where you can find the Ngawen temple. Residential areas and rice fields surround this area of land. The discovery of the Dhyani Buddha Amisabha statue in the fourth temple and the Dhyani Buddha Ratna Sambhawa statue in the second temple provides evidence that the Ngawen temple complex has a Buddhist history. The five Dhyani Buddhas of Mahayana Buddhism rule the five cardinal directions. The hand gestures or mudras of the five Dhyani Buddha statues can be used to identify them. The five temple buildings that make up the Ngawen temple complex all belong to the five Dhyani Buddhas.
this is the Sambisari Temple. It is located in Selamat, Yogyakarta. It is actually 12 kilometers east from the city and is one of a few temples that is located near the Prambanan Temple. That is 4 kilometers from the Prambanan Temple. It got buried by the volcanic eruption of Mount Merapi and it got rediscovered by the archaeologists. And also, the unique thing about this temple is that this temple is actually 6 meters below the usual ground level.
Yeah, that's right. So what we have here is another Hindu temple that was built during the second century, the second part of the 19th century during the Mataram Kuno era. This was assumed to be built during the reign of Rakai Garung, one of its leaders during Mataram Kuno. So in this Hindu temple, there seems to be a lot of common elements you would see in a lot of the Hindu temples, like the Linga Yoni, which can be seen inside of the main temple over here, as well as having similar structures like what you see in Prambanan and other Hindu temples out there. So here we are in the overall structure of the Sambisari temple. Over here we have 3 small temples over here, most of which are basically unstructured and not yet finished. Well, over here, this one is the main temple of Sambisari. So inside of here, usually for Hindu temples, there's usually the structure in the corner that's located in the stairs. That's what you call the naga. So what that means is that it acts as a guardian to be able to protect the spirituality of the temple and its long-lasting state. Other than that, the temple itself also has statues of important deities such as namely Durga, Ganesha, and many others.
Right now we're at the Plaosan Temple. It is located in Bugisan village in Prambanan district. So actually this temple is located not far from Prambanan temple. It is actually less than kilometers from here. Can you tell us more about this temple?
Okay, so just to answer your question, this was made around the mid-9th century. It was made by both Rakai Pikatan and Pramoda Wadani, who were both married at the time. And since both come from different religions, that is Hindu and Buddha, they decided to build this as a way of symbolizing how much they tolerate both religions within the Mataram Kuno eras. So, well, it's not only this that we can see here. There's also multiple stupas and shrines for Hindus, and well, we can see from the structure that for stupas, that's for Buddhas, and obviously for most Buddha temples, namely, you guys may know it from Borobudur, a lot of them have more rounder shapes. And then for the shrines over here, we can see that it's a Hindu temple, just like the temples we went there last time. Although you may know it from Prambanan, which is also a very known temple here in Indonesia. Prambanan temple complex is situated in the Karangasem hamlet, Bokoharjo village, Prambanan district, Sleman, Special Regency of Yogyakarta. The Prambanan temple compounds, which contain the Prambanan temple, Sewu temple, Lumbung temple, Bubra temple, and Asu temple, were designated as a group of temples by UNESCO's World Heritage Committee in December 13, 1991, with the designated number of C642. It can be inferred from the god statues in the Prambanan temple complex that this temple was built in the past for Hindus. The Prambanan temple complex is a colossal structure that has come to represent the splendor of the form of the Mataram Kuno era. According to the Jiwagra inscription, this temple was built around 850 AD by Rakai Pikatan and continued to be developed and expanded by Balitung Mahasambu during the Mataram Kuno era.